sometimes you worship people from afar.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I do on Twitter, America's Baby Monitor, to see how, poopy diaper baby in the Oval Office is doing, but also to follow fantastic resistors like Brooklyn Dad Defiant, who is my spirit animal on the Twitter, and he joins us now. Brooklyn Dad Defiant, look at you. I want that hat.
Hello there, Stephanie. You are more than welcome to have this hat. It's available on BrooklynDadDefiant.com.
There you go.
Oh, congratulations on being the fastest to get a plug in an interview ever.
He's got a book too.
That takes skill.
Okay, I'm going to screw up your name. Majid Padellan is your actual name.
That is perfect.
Oh, wow. That was totally by accident. I've called Rude Pundit Rude for years, so I'm just calling you Brooklyn. Whatever.
That's cool.
718's in the house, everybody. Yo, what up? Okay.
That's right.
All right. Listen, you tweeted though, hang on a second. You said if you're like me and you've lost someone you love and you lost your job because Trump lied while COVID-19 was bearing down on us, seeing his self-pity parties enough to make you spit males. He is the enemy of the people. First of all, I'm sorry. Who did you lose? And tell me what's going on in 718.
So this past Sunday, my best friend's mother just passed away. And so when I was 17, she was like my second mother. I actually called her mom for years and years and years until she was like, look, just call me Joanne,
Yeah.
But, she was like, when you said I'm your spirit animal, like she put the fire in my furnace. She's the woman who taught me, like, I only believe half of what I see and nothing that I hear, She taught me how to be defiant.
Yeah.
So,
you know what? You complete me. A, you had me at hello. B, and 3, I say it here. I think it here and it comes out there on Twitter. You said the same thing I've said many times. You said hate is the strongest and worst word to use, but I'm no longer ashamed to admit that I hate Trump. He is the most despicable thing I've ever seen in my life, and maybe hate isn't even strong enough, but I'll settle for it and purge it from my vocabulary when he's gone. I said the same thing, Brooklyn Dad. I was raised Catholic. I want to hear about your background, but I was raised Catholic, and I've never hated anybody. I mean, not even an ex, somebody in a relation. I'd never use the word hate, and I hate him, and I feel like you're not paying attention if you don't hate him. But I also agree with you of creating a different, better world where we can purge that from our vocabulary. But I don't think we've ever been confronted with such, a despicable human, let alone president, right?
Well, hate is the problem. Hate is what brought him into national prominence. Hate is the underlying factor that allowed people to put their better judgment and common sense to the side and say, okay, I'm going to support this guy who likes to grab women by their you-know-what, who is disrespectful, who for years lied about President Obama not being an American, and the list goes on and on. I mean, if his only issues were the stuff that we were calling him on before 2016 for stiffing all those workers, for looking at his daughter like she's a piece of meat, and disrespecting or mocking a disabled person, if those were the only things, it might not be such a bad thing. But since he's gotten into office, he's just gotten even worse. And it's the hate in people's hearts that allow them to overlook it, because at least he's not the black guy.
Yeah.
That's it.
How much of this is based on that? Him undoing Obama's pandemic response team, him throwing out the pandemic playbook that Obama left. I mean, and people now, we're at our, Vietnam. I think you tweeted about that, about the great question yesterday. If an American president loses more Americans over the course of 6 weeks than did in the entirety of the Vietnam War, does he deserve to be reelected? And then you said, and then he dribbled off how good his decisions were. We've done a great job. And then he ran. What a coward. A coward during Vietnam, a coward now, right?
Yeah. His Vietnam was, I think, having unprotected sex in the 80s and 90s. Yeah.
Tell us about yourself, 718. What's going on? So first of all, you give me hope because I'm still single, still a loser in quarantine. But you met your wife on Twitter.
Oh, cool.
So you're a proud dad, loving husband. She
Yes.
subsequently moved to America from New Zealand to start your family, which is weird because I now want to marry the Prime Minister of New Zealand and move to New
She's
Zealand
awesome.
because she has the because she has the flattest curves around. You know what I'm saying?
Stephanie,
A flat curve is hot now,
you just
right,
met him.
Brooklyn Dad? Oh, we could do a New Zealand trade thing going on. But no, but tell us about that. So you have how many kids? You have a daughter, I know, because you thought of the book while you were waiting for her at her track meet. But
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So, so I have three children from my first marriage, three boys, and they're all fully grown. One is in California, and the other two are here in New York. Then I have a son and a daughter from this marriage here. They're my stepchildren, but I love them like they're my own flesh and blood, you know. And
is that where you?
so,
Is that? I was just going to say, is that how you came up with? How did you settle on Brooklyn Dad Defiant for Twitter?
Oh, okay. So originally, back in 2016, I was Brooklyn Dad for Hillary.
Okay.
That was my original title. And then on November 9th, I think it was November. Yeah, it was on November 9th. I was in a bunch of DM discussion rooms on Twitter, and some of my fellow not yet resistors were like, well, I guess I'm going to pack it up and tuck my head in the sand because all these trolls are going to come after me. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? We got the worst person ever to be in the Oval Office, and you're just going to pack it up and go? Hell no. Hell no. And for a while, I actually changed my profile picture to a picture of Obama flashing the middle finger. I was so mad. And I was like, no, there's no chance I'm packing it up. No, I'm going to be the fly in the ointment. I'm going to be that angry, nonstop voice. And I changed my name from Brooklyn Dad for Hillary to Brooklyn Dad Defiant.
Yeah.
Screw that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So now, anyway, tell it. So the book, let's get to that. Because you said you thought of it sitting in the car while your daughter was at her track meet. First of all, you're an art director, right? And
Yes.
so this is your first book, The Littlest President. And explain, because you're wearing the shirt. Stand up a little bit. There we go. Spanky McDumbass. Coming soon to a prison near you soon. You write, Spanky McDumbass was a horrible little man who was a draft dodger, a creepy dad, a businessman, and a bad TV celebrity who lied and cheated his way into the most powerful position in America, President of the United States. This is the story of his improbable rise and his ultimate bigly fall.
Yes.
Let's hope it is as bigly as he deserves, right?
That's right. That's right.
So tell us about the book.
So, like as you said, I was waiting for my daughter to finish her track practice.
Right.
And this was around the time that Trump was hurling bombs at Adam Schiff and calling him Little, Liddle apostrophe Schiff. And he went on a tirade about how CNN dropped the hyphen from Little. And it wasn't a hyphen, it was an apostrophe, but he was calling it a hyphen. And that thing struck my funny bone so hard, I couldn't let up on it. And I was like, you know what? I've got to do something. I've got to document this insanity. And hence the Littlest President was born. I gave him a big, massive head and a little tiny body because he is a man baby. He's a man baby. Yeah, he hurls insults like that even kids in the schoolyard wouldn't use.
Like the press conferences. I'm not going to do it anymore because you're not being fair.
Yeah. So I said, the people in America have to know, like years from now, that this actually happened, number one. And number two, I wanted to give folks in the resistance something to laugh collectively at. And three, I wanted to give some hope because there is a message of hope in this book. Out of the chaos, there is hope.
Yeah, well, thank you. That's why I love you on Twitter and elsewhere. I mean, by the way, you still are a noted, wordsmith, because you have the bravery. Yesterday, you tweeted, unjumble this mixed word salad. This was Trump from yesterday. These people who sacrifice for a reason of incompetence or something other than incompetence, what happened at a point where they could have protected the whole world. You said several commas, periods, and words died in there somewhere. He also said this. I don't know if you heard this yesterday, but I don't even think a noted wordsmith like you can untangle this. But here we go. This was yesterday from the whatever that was.
Hologic and Cephahide.
Oh, what? Oh, God.
Sorry?
I missed that. Oh, my God.
Yeah. No, I'll give it to you again. No, here we go. Yeah.
Hyde, Dickinson, Hologic and Cephahide.
So
Hologic and Cephahide.
Oh, God.
Okay, so this is like this mass delusion that we're not supposed to talk about, that he's clearly drugged out and in some kind of cognitive decline, something psychological, everything meltdown, right?
It's unbelievable. And what kills me is that we've got, so our candidate now, Joe Biden, is now having to fight a war on two fronts. Mm-hmm. He's got to fight on the right and he's got to fight on the left.
Yeah.
And people on the left are saying, oh, he's in cognitive decline. You know what? If Joe Biden was in a coma, if he was in a coma, he'd be better than Trump.
Right. More coherent. Yeah. Yeah. And you said, you tweeted, the governor of Maryland got hundreds of calls asking about ingesting disinfectant. Trump, of course, said he accepts no responsibility for that. And further, Brooklyn Dad, he can't imagine why. He's like, oh, I can't imagine why someone did it. I can't imagine. Because you just said to do it. And you're...
He accepts no responsibility. And that's another thing. Of dozens of things that outrage me about this guy. He takes no responsibility. And he said so with the words out of his own stupid mouth. He says, I take no responsibility at all, and,
yeah.
Long gone are the days when, the buck stopped here.
Yeah.
Where
it stops
says,
anywhere.
It's my responsibility. He's like, no.
It stops anywhere but him. It's okay. And finally, you said yo, which is how everyone from Brooklyn starts a tweet. Yo, yo, Twitter. You said Trump's Twitter is an insane basket of curry.
Yep.
Today. And no, we shouldn't just ignore it. Ignoring it doesn't make it go away like a miracle in April. He's retweeting doctored video of Joe Biden, conspiracy theories, and lame excuses. He is certifiably insane. And we just can't say it enough. And that's why we see that 90% of these deaths, maybe including your friend, if he had acted 2 weeks earlier, let alone that he was getting these warnings in January from his intelligence that we're reading now today, very specific warnings. If he acted 1 week earlier, 60% of the deaths. And so this is just terrifying. I mean, I heard somebody go, well, I'm not afraid of this and we should open up. I'm like, I'm afraid. You're an idiot if you're not afraid of getting this. If you're reading what it's like to have this, I mean, anyway.
Steph, he was too busy wishing that it would just go away magically, and that is no way to run an administration. That is no way to protect the country. That's your sworn duty, to protect us. You failed, and you just got to man up. And he should, one of these press conferences, he should just step up to the podium and say, you know what, I screwed up. I'm done. I resign.
Oh, he busted out like rock star cheers. He busted out the impression for the very end. The new book is The Littlest President, and the man is Brooklyn Dad Defiant on Twitter. What a thrill. We'll have you on again. So great to meet you. Really, really appreciate it. All right.
I'm honored. Thank you so much for having me.
And happy
Gotcha.
birthday.
Oh,
Yeah,
happy
happy
birthday.
birthday.
Oh, wait. It's your birthday. Come on. We got to do this for 718. I should have worn my 718 shirt. I have one.
Are you lifting the ceiling?
I have one. Yes, I am lifting the ceiling in this here establishment.
Steph, can I do this?
Yeah.
Can I do this? My name is Sally O'Malley, and I like to kick and stretch and kick. I'm 52 years old.
Yeah.
Because it's your birthday. I don't give a. Because it's your birthday. Because it's Brooklyn Dad Defiant's birthday. What? Go ahead, kick. Let us see you kick. Go ahead, do it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, God. Don't. Oh, God. Oh, all right.
I like to kick
Oh, he did it. Okay, he did it.
Stretch
All right.
and kick.
I'm
Sit down. All right.
52 years old.
Sit down, Grandpa. Sit down. All right. Brooklyn Dad Defiant. Rockstar
Yay.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Now that was a debut. That was a debut on the Stephanie Miller Show.